My name's Ewan Pearson. I'm a record producer and a remixer and a DJ. And I live some of the time in Berlin and some of the time in the UK. This evening I'm going to play a lot of different stuff. It's always hard to decide to sort of say what you're going to play before you DJ, because I don't think about like a specific set. I don't have a set plan before I play. I have some really good stuff from the States. I have some really good new stuff from some friends of mine. There's some producers from LA called Drew. There's Tale of Us from Italy, who are really good. I have some local hero stuff. I have Cats and Dogs stuff because I love them too. I have some of my own productions. Berlin for me is a lot kind of calmer and less stressful than London. I lived in London for a good 10 years, and I've been in Berlin a lot in the last sort of 7 or 8 years, but also partly in the UK still. So Berlin for me is kind of calm. When I say this to Germans, they always think it's kind of strange because they think of it as their happening capital city. But for me, compared to London, Berlin is kind of like a village. It's like really quiet and mellow, and it gives me time to think. And, yeah, it's just much less stressful on a day-to-day basis. But I still love London, and I love the fact that I can go back there because of work. So I'm sort of in recording studios and stuff in London a lot. When it comes to DJing, I don't really mind how you do it. I think for me, it's about what you play and how you sequence it. It's about the records you play and the order you play them in. But these days, you have to realise that you're living in a different time, and things change. And so I, play a lot of my music from CD. I get a lot of my promo from downloads, and I buy a lot of downloads as well. So I do whatever I have to do. When it comes to sound, in terms of production, I still love things like analog synthesizers and guitar pedals and analog compressors. So I use those, but I also have a computer system, and so I use this kind of analog digital hybrid. So and it works well, the two things work together. I think if you're making your music just for the laptop and only with plugins, then sometimes it maybe can, unless you're a really good producer, it can sometimes sound very flat. I love kind of still using real instruments and analog gear whenever I can. From a DJ point of view, I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I want to play in a lot of different styles. So from some quite heavy techno, which I kind of love still. I kind of like, people sometimes get surprised if they hear me in a big club, like I play in the Loft in Barcelona, and quite often I just play really tough. But everything from disco and Balearic stuff and slower stuff through house and tech house and techno. I'm a 4/4 kid, I'm like 120 beats per minute. Kick drums, floor to the floor, that's where my heart is. It used to be that we saw music as kind of being like, you'd have phases, so it was like you'd have rock and roll, and then you'd have punk, or then there was dance music, and I don't think it really works like that these days. I think basically all the different types of music exist alongside each other. So rock didn't die, hip hop didn't die, dance music didn't die. People always predict that it'll have its time and then it'll disappear. But I don't really see that happening anymore. I think the way that music works is that each time a new genre or a new type of music happens, it kind of splits off, and it exists alongside the other ones that have existed. I've just done remixes I just did a remix for Crosstown Rebels, Glimpse and Martin Dawson for Damien Lazarus' label, which is one of my favourite labels. I just also did a remix of a band from Montreal called Vision Quest on Seth Troxler's label. Oh no, the band aren't called Vision Quest, sorry, the band are called Footprints, the label's called Vision Quest, yeah, it's Seth Troxler's label. And I've been working with another group from Montreal actually, called Flowers and Sea Creatures. Right at this moment I'm doing production for their album. Basically I'm doing some additional programming and mixing like half of the tracks on their album. They do electronics really well, but they've got really beautiful songs, like really amazing melodies and harmonies, so I'm kind of excited about how that's going. I'm Ewan Pearson, I'm at Canalia in Szczecin. I really hope you enjoyed the party.